Hello, good afternoon, and good morning. I'm LaKendra Tooks, and it is time for Tooks Takes. Thank y'all so much for joining us today, Ken's Day crew. And thank you guys so much for all the love that you guys have shown me over our new thing where Tooks takes on having guests. Thank you, Ryan Bailey from So Bad It's Good with Ryan Bailey. Thank you for being my first Tooks Takes guest, and I've got more. Listen. I've got Doug Buden on deck. I've got Jamie Rice of Murderish on deck. And let me tell y'all something. Tooks takes on guests. We have our little wish list, and I think we're going to be able to get everyone we want. And I'm going to put this on social media. If there is anyone that you want to see as a guest here on Tooks Takes, tell me, because Ken's Day crew, we see each other. We are in this together. So if there's anyone that you want to see in the Tooks Takes studio, you let me know, baby, and we will do the best we can to get them booked with Tooks. But we're not in our gorgeous studio today. We're in our regular little area with the cute little brick wall. But we'll be back in the studio soon. Don't y'all worry about it. And also for those of you who are watching, if I'm looking a little tired, if I'm looking I am a little bit tired because I'm going to give y'all the Tooks takeaway early today. The Tooks takeaway, get some sleep. I got to get more sleep. I know that sometimes when I'm on Jeff Lewis, we do talk about how hard I work, and I work really hard. So sometimes I'm a napper. I'm a girl who needs a nap. I love a nap. So I've been napping. Actually, like over the weekend, I did a lot of napping because I was tired because I had a busy week. Now, we got a lot to talk about today, y'all. Again, forgive me if I'm a little all over the place, but we do have a lot to talk about. Don't worry. We're going to talk about the Real Housewives of Potomac. We're going to talk a little bit about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. But first, you guys are going to be surprised to hear this one, but let's talk about the Real Housewives of Orange County. Wait for it. I know, because I know a lot of you are just like me. We had a hard time watching this season. Did I hate watch it? A little. Maybe not hate watch. I dislike watched because I needed to get caught up because I knew that I wanted to go to this watch party that Tamra Judge and Katie Janella were going to be throwing in the OC. And my new friend, Jamie Rice, hey, Jamie. Well, I interviewed her for Tooks Takes on Guests, and she was telling me she's going to go to this event. You should come with me. And let me tell you something. I love a girls' night. I love a girls' night out. I love any excuse to put on a cute outfit and be with the girls. And I said, you know what, Jamie? Absolutely, girl. I'm going to be there. Now, let me tell y'all something. Part of what we do here in this podcasting world, in this world of being a content creator, we talk about these housewives. We talk about these ladies because y'all know, housewives, this is my sports. This is my sports. Bravo is my ESPN. This is pretty much my sports center, okay? I'm like Scott Van Pelt over here. And yes, I know who Scott Van Pelt is. Why? Because I have a daddy and a brother who love sports. So I know me and my dad and my brother, we do our little three-way calls every weekend, and they start talking about their sports. And I always intertwine the world of sports with the world of gossip, housewives. So it's like all my worlds collide. So housewives is my sports. So yes, I am critical of these women, but and I'm talked about this a little bit on Instagram. Make sure you're following me at LaKendra Tooks, at Tooks Takes. But I talked about this a little bit. When we are critical of these women, of these housewives, we are commenting on the behavior that they exhibit on the show. Okay, I know that I posed the question, who's the most evil on the Real Housewives of Orange County? Do I actually think these women are evil? Do I think that they are somewhere in the middle of Newport Beach with a cauldron, casting spells, digging up old gossip from 17 years ago? No. Well, maybe they are doing that a little bit. And listen, OC ladies, if you are at Newport Beach, right outside in the parking lot of the Quiet Woman with your cauldron, it is spooky season. If that's what you're doing, do you. But do I actually think these are evil women? No, absolutely not. But these housewives, this is not church. This is not seventh heaven. A part of being a good housewife is being a little delusional, being a little cray-cray, being a little evil. We like the fun shade, but we don't like it when things get too dark. This season of OC, it was getting a little too dark for me. I did not like the treatment of Katie Janella. I also did not like the behavior of one Miss Tamra Judge. I did not like her behavior last season either. I have been critical of Tamra. And if you know me from that other show that I used to host on Radio Andy, you might recall that I did have a tiny little beef with Tamra where she allegedly may have complained to my boss. I guess he kind of still is my boss. Hey, Andy. Might have complained to Andy a little bit about me, but I think I've already told this story. It's old news at this point. I reached out to Andy. He said, you're doing great. Keep doing what you're doing. It was no big deal. The tiny little beef I had with Tamra has nothing to do with the fact that I'm not hosting that show anymore. I'm not hosting that show anymore because I just wanted to have more time to be able to give y'all my takes. But all of that said, listen, I'm a human being. I'm not a person. I talk a lot here. And I would say a good chunk of what I say here, I would feel comfortable saying to these ladies' faces, because honestly, us talking about these women is what keeps them relevant, okay? Like, there's no such thing as bad press to these women, okay? Anytime anybody mentions their name, they're happy about it. Any Google alert with their name in it, I guarantee you they're happy about it. Why? Because this is what they do for a living now. They're in this reality world. They're Bravo lebs, you know? Like, all of these women, well, let me not say all, but a lot of them, they had careers outside of Housewives, and a lot of them, once they can hop on this housewife train, they're gonna ride it as far as they can, because why not? It's such an amazing opportunity, and to me, it looks like a pretty easy gig. If all you have to deal with is people like me, you know, talking a little bit of smack about you, who cares? But so I did talk some smack about Tamra, and so going to this event where I know Tamra's going to be there, in my mind, I'm like, okay, how do I do this? Because partially what I'm supposed to be doing is networking. Let's talk about networking for just a second, guys. I am not a good networker. And, you know, this is a safe space, all right? This is a place. I don't think I have many hate listeners. I think I mostly have love listeners. So I'm going to be honest with you all. I'm not great at networking. I am not great at schmoozing. Because for me, I am a terrible liar. So when I'm schmoozing, trust me, it's real, it's authentic. I cannot go up to somebody. If I'm not a fan, I'm not going to go up to you and be like, let's take a picture. Case in point, at this event, Jesus Jugs is there. Let me also say this. As soon as we walk through the door, the first person we see, John Jansenson. Y'all know I don't F with Johnny J. What I look like going up to John Jansenson and being like, let's take a selfie. I don't want a selfie with him. I don't like him. I don't want a selfie with Jesus Jugs. Now, I like Jesus Jugs. I like Jesus Jugs. However, I really did not like her behavior last year. I did not like how she was dangling her relationship in Shannon's face like that. Just some things as a woman. I think, yeah, like we're on these shows, we're being catty, we're being shady. I just think as a woman, there's certain things you just don't do to other women as a woman. So that's why I don't really F with Jesus Jugs. So yes, I saw her at the event. Was I about to go be like, Kiki, let's take a picture? No, that would have been so fake of me to be like, and I felt the same even about Tamra, because y'all know I've been very critical about Tamra. And I do want to retract something that I have said about Tamra in the past. And I want to retract it based on what I saw in real life, okay? And that's why, y'all, part of me is like, I don't want to get to know these women in real life because I want to have my free license here to criticize them, to say anything I want. And, if I start getting to know these women on a personal level, it's not as easy to do that. It's certainly not as easy to sit here and say, you're a bad mom. Your kids don't talk to you. After, that's one of those things as a woman. So, Tamra, if you're listening, I do want to apologize for calling you a bad mom. Are you a bad mom? That's not for me to say, and I think that that's one of those things as a woman. I should have never said that. That wasn't very nice of me. So I apologize for that. But what I will say, and I said this on social media already, Tamra was a delight. I did not personally talk to her because, again, part of me, I'm not going to lie, part of me was a little bit like, I've never really been in this situation before where I'm like, I've been critical of somebody and now here I am. Here we are. Hi, nice to meet you. I said some critical things about you before. You might have complained to Andy about me. Do you remember? I didn't really want to do that. So I didn't go up to Tamra and do that. However, seeing her and Katie too interact with their fans, it was really cute and really sweet to see. And it really just made me look at Tamra in a way where I'm like, girl, I don't think you actually are evil. I think you are doing what you think you need to do for the show. And I get that. I respect that. It's your job. But I will say it was a delight to see Tamra just be like a cute, normal, fun girl. And I'd love to see more of that on OC next season. Here's my wish for OC next season. If I actually, and again, I've said this before, I can not be a fan of somebody but still think they're good for the show. Maybe I'm not a fan of Tamra's behavior on the show. I do think she's great for the show. I think Katie Janella deserves another chance because we were talking to Katie's husband, Matt. Hey, Matt, who I think is a great husband on the show because I can only imagine how hard it is to see people mistreat your wife. Like, I know for me, I don't even have a man right now, but when I do have a man, are you kidding me? If I catch you mistreating my man, baby, we fighting. The wigs getting braided back. Boom, boom, boom. We fighting. I was chit-chatting with Matt. And golly, I feel like I'm giving a little bit of insider tea here. But I was chit-chatting with Matt, myself, Jamie Rice, and Matt. We were chit-chatting. And Matt was telling us, he was like, this doesn't make any sense. What happened to Katie on this show where she's just like not like half the season she's missing. It's weird. It's strange. We have a contract. She wants to work. She's willing to work. She's willing to film. But it sounded to me from what Matt was saying that him and Katie were kind of just left in the dark from a production standpoint of like what's happening here. And that's why this season of OC was so difficult to watch. It felt like the ladies of the OC were protecting each other and hanging Katie out to dry. And it feels like production might have been doing the same. And I don't like that. We talked about this even on The Real Housewives of Miami. Why is there all this unseen footage of Julia losing her mind? Is there in society even, and golly, I know that I have the Kinsday crew, we are very diverse. In my auntie army and my niece navy, we are very diverse, which I love that. I got aunties and nieces and nephews and uncles of all races and colors and shades, and I love each and every one of y'all. However, it does seem sometimes like, I might get in trouble for saying this. I already wasn't invited to BravoCon this year. I'm manifesting that I'll be invited to the next BravoCon, even though I'm going to say what I'm about to say. It does seem like sometimes, are they protecting the white girls? It just looks like, I'm just saying, I'm just telling you what I'm seeing with my beautiful brown eyes. It does look like sometimes they're protecting the white girls. And especially this season of OC, I think anyone could look at it and it looks like they're protecting the white girls. And what's up with that? Why? Or is the other cast members of OC, are they more valuable than Katie? I personally, I would have loved to see more Katie. I think that she was bringing something, like her being Asian, being diverse, great, but that's only part of her story. You know, she's got other friends. She's a mom. She's a wife. She's a working woman. There are so many things that we could have seen of her, even if she wasn't necessarily going to be filming with these women. To me, it seems like there were other things that we could have been seeing of her. To me, it just seems really unfair that she just kind of got the shaft on the rest of the season like that. So that's why it was hard for me to watch, and especially for Katie to get the shaft, and then for Gretchen, only a friend of, getting invited on the cast trip. Nah, what's up with that? So I was on Jeff Lewis the other day, and I love it when they're talking about me when I'm not there. Now, y'all know, in the Chump crew, I love all the Chumps. Y'all know we got some Karens in the Chumps. We got some Karens. I should start calling them Charens. The Chump Karens, the Charens. And I feel like sometimes you Karens, if you're hate listening right now, hi. I feel like they sometimes try to like tattle on me. You know, they'll like tag Jeff in something that I said or something like that. And it's like, first of all, thank you, but y'all don't need to do that. You guys don't think that Jeff is perfectly capable of, like, y'all don't think Jeff knows everything that goes on. Like, he knows what's going on, and if it's something that he should care about, and if I did something that he didn't like, he would tell me. You know, like, you guys don't need to try to tattle on me. I thought it was really funny that some people are like, oh, LaKendra, oh, you're at this event. And did you know that? I did not even know. First of all, Chef Stu, hey, Chef Stu, I did not even know. Y'all know I'm in my own little LaKendra world, my little la la land with cartwheels and jelly beans and popsicles. I don't even know half the time. I don't know all of the backstory. I did. Y'all know Amy Phillips is a mentor of mine. So when Amy and Chef Stu did their Housewives related cookbook, this was a few years ago at this point. This was before I was even working at Radio Andy, period. I think at the time, Amy was still hosting on Radio Andy. So this was a few years ago. I did this amazing cookbook with them. You guys should check it out if you haven't already. I did an amazing impression of Nene Leakes and Karen Huger in the cookbook. It's really, really cute. Thank you again, Amy, for asking me to be involved in that project. If you're going to be at BravoCon, make sure you go see Amy's show. Is she calling it Cabaret Me this year? Her Amy Phillips, her cabaret show. If you're going to be at BravoCon, make sure you check out Amy Phillips' show. She's so funny. She's so talented, and she's a mentor of mine. I'm so grateful to Amy. More on how Amy's a mentor of mine on another episode. Actually, we need to get Amy Phillips as a guest on Tooks Takes. Amy, I'm going to be reaching out to you because you need to come be a guest on Tooks Takes because we have a lot to talk about. But anyway, I thought it was really funny that people were trying to be like, LaKendra, you were there and Chef Stu was there. I'm like, I knew Chef Stu before I even knew Jeff. Honestly, I didn't even know that they ever dated until probably like a few months ago. I think I was, honestly, because I'm a little self-absorbed, I was probably Googling myself about something, and then that popped up, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't know that. So I go to the event, Chef Stu's there. It's like, you know, this is America. Hi. Like, we're all like, and we're all in this like Bravo world together. Like, we're all going to run into each other. So I don't think it was an issue. Like, they talked about it briefly, but it wasn't a big deal at all. But let's talk about the OC reunion a little bit, because at this watch party, we watched the OC reunion. If you follow me on social media, you already saw Joe Della Rosa was there. Joe Della Rosa, anytime we're mentioning her name, she's loving it. Again, like, I'm not like a huge Joe Della Rosa fan, so it's not like I was like, you know, kikiing with her or anything like that either. But, you know, during the reunion, it was really sweet to see Tamra talk about having some reconciliation with her daughter. Seeing Tamra see it in real time and talk about, you know, how she is her relationship with her daughter, Sydney, is on the mend. Honestly, I hope that they work it out. Because anybody, like, I love my parents. There's no world, I cannot imagine ever not speaking to my parents. Even if I don't talk to my parents for like a couple days, my dad will text me and be like, you good? He's such a man. Isn't that funny? Like, I'm like, sometimes I get mad at men for being horrible communicators. And it's like, you know what? My dad's not a great communicator either. I think it's just a man thing. But anywho, so Tamra, my heart goes out to you and your daughter. I hope y'all work that out. What else did we learn at the reunion? We learned that Emily's son has pandas. He's got pandas. You know, and honestly, I was critical of Emily for talking about her son's diagnosis like this. And see, I'm glad that she talked about it, because now it made other people say, hey, maybe he has pandas. You know, maybe he just needs to go and get some lasers on his brain or something like that. You know, and that's great. My issue with Emily is I felt like she talked about it too much. Like, I know it was something important that was going on in her life, but it's like, girl, what else is going on in your life? Because I should not know more about your child who's underage and I don't think is able to consent to all of his, you know, isn't this a HIPAA violation? You know, it looks like, don't be telling all my business like that, mama. Maybe I didn't want the world to know I got pandas. You know, I feel like some stuff should just be family business. But at the same time, I'm glad that she's able to figure out what's going on with her son. And I'm sure a lot of you were watching that and saying, hey, I went through something similar. So in a situation like that, it's good. So I still don't want Emily and Gina back next season. I'm sorry, I don't. If I'm having my way with the OC cast, Jimmy out. Heather Dubrow, I honestly, if Heather's going to be living in Beverly Hills or in LA, I think Heather should just be friend of. I would say Heather can be friend of. I would say Gina could maybe be friend of. We keep Shannon. We keep Katie. We keep Tamra. We keep Jim Pedrani. I know that some people think Jim Pedrani's a snooze. I still like Jim Pedrani. I think Jim Pedrani's got one more season in her. And I don't know. Do we bring back Vicky? I wouldn't mind bringing back some of the other OCOGs. Give me a Lynn Curtin. Give me Tammy Knickerbocker. Give me Quinn Frazier. You want to talk about a blast from the past? Yeah, like bring back maybe like some of the OGs of the OC, and maybe like one new girl, maybe like a new girl that's friends with Katie, somebody who's also like young and cute and has a great sense of style. I'd be into that. Y'all know Ken's Day crew. Bravo do be listening to us. So we just might get what we want for next season of OC. I also thought it was, we'll say, interesting that Gretchen's like, no, Slade does work. He's on the board of the Liberace community for kids who can't read good or play the piano well. It's like, girl, I mean, I don't know about y'all. I know my daddy is on the board at church. He don't get paid for that. Like, if you ask my dad, what do you do for a living? He's not going to be like, well, I'm on the church board. No, he actually has a career. He actually runs a business. So I do believe the word for Slade is unemployed. But also, like, Gretchen, if you're okay with your man being unemployed, baby, then be like, yeah, my man's unemployed. And what? And what? He's on the Liberace board. What? Like, just own it. Like, just be like, yeah, he's unemployed. I pay for everything. I'm an influencer. And it is what it is. Because honestly, it's really nobody else's business. Like, Gretchen, you know you love this man. You know, like, he's your twin flame. Y'all got fake married at a fake church by a fake pastor. Whatever. Like, who cares? Let's talk quickly. We got to hurry up and get out of here. I did not mean to spend that much time on the Real Housewives of OC, y'all. Y'all know I get a little long-winded. Let's quickly talk about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, because the only thing I can think about on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and these ladies are at sea. A lot's going on, but all I can think about is Bronwyn's husband, Mr. Todd, making out with people and farting. What? What were the nature of these farts? I got to know, were these audible farts? Were these silent but deadlies? I mean, I don't know. Girls and gays, what do we do? Now, me personally, I've never been in that situation where I've been, you know, I've kissed many a frog in my day, but I've never kissed a farty frog. And I mean, I don't even know what you do. What do you do if you're making out with somebody and they're audibly farting and they're just like, smooch, smooch. What do you do in that situation? Or worse, you're making out with them and then they're blowing out silent but deadlies. And you're like, what's that smell? Is that you? I would have to stop mid-smooch and be like, baby, is that you? I know we just ain't Mexican, but is that you? That's why, I mean, I have a strict no beating policy when I know I have a date. When I know I have a date, I'm like, no beans. But if you are going to eat beans, at least have a little Beano. Not sponsored, by the way. But you got to do what you got to do because you cannot be farting while you're making out with somebody. That is so gross. Bronwyn, what's going on in your life, girl? You got that mean mama. You got gassy, gout-ridden Todd. Y'all, we got to keep Bronwyn lifted up in prayer. This poor child is going through too much. Too much. All the while wearing an inflatable costume. That's all I can say about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City right now. Let's move on to the Real Housewives of Potomac. We do not have much time. But quickly, just the highlights of the Real Housewives of Potomac. Jazzy was getting real jazzy over Tia. And y'all know I love Tia. She's a black British woman. She's princess. She's royalty. I love Tia. And I think Tia is doing a great job of getting these ladies together. She's like, yes, I'm new. You're not going to be hazing me. I'm going to haze you. So now y'all know I just got back from Jamaica. And Jamaica is still rebuilding from this hurricane. If you have the means to give, please do. Please give to Jamaica because that's the only thing that's going to help them rebuild. They need the cash. So if you can give to Jamaica, please do. But while I was in Jamaica, yes, when you're in the islands, you are going to get hit on by some older toothless men. It just is what it is. No, they know that they don't really have a chance. They're going to come up to you. And especially Jazzy, you're a beautiful woman. And Jazzy's got some cakes back there. I'm like, dang, Jazzy, I didn't know your body was like that, girl. But Jazzy was just really doing too much, getting mad at Tia when, I know the Brits have a stiff upper lip, but Jazzy, nobody really thinks that Mr. Sunshine, with 2 dreads and 2 teeth as competition for your NFL man. Now, while Mr. Sunshine got 2 teeth, Jazzy, you need to be more concerned about your NFL man who had 2 babies on you. I'd rather have the man with 2 teeth than the brother that's out here having 2 babies on me. You're out here ejaculating in other women while we're together? That seemed like some misplaced anger. But Tia, you're so good at squashing that beef quickly. I love that. Tia, I like Tia. We also get the bombshell that Stacey did. We find out on the producer cam. Stacey did go on a couple dates with Chris Samuels, aka Big Boy. And now Stacey, she says she did not F him. Chris Samuels is a big dude. I feel like if you do F Chris Samuels, we're gonna know. Stacey's still walking upright. I believe her. I believe her. She did not have a roll in the hay with Big Boy. But we also got to talk about Angel. The ladies are giving Angel on the Real Housewives of Potomac. They are giving her a hard time. And I don't like it just because Angel, I think her child's 18 months. Now, listen, I don't know how long it takes to get over postpartum things, but I know that it can be tough. This woman's still pumping. If you have a friend who's still pumping, cut her some slack. Leave her alone. If she's pumping and she wants to filter her pictures, let her filter her pictures. Let her call her husband. She might be feeling a little bit needy. This is also her first season on the show. I really want the ladies to cut Angel some slack because I like Angel. And honestly, Angel, if you're listening right now, you should be listening. You're beautiful. You have an amazing husband who loves you. You have a beautiful family. You got money. Your net worth is the highest. So if they are hating on you, let them hate, baby. You go, you pump that milk. Maybe give them a little bit. After you pump your milk, since they're thirsty, Angel, pump that milk and go and give it to the ladies because they are thirsty and they are coming for you. Say, look, drink this freshly pumped milk since you so thirsty. But anyway, next week on The Real Housewives of Potomac, girl, Monique Samuels is coming back. Monique, make sure you got your wigs glued down and bobby pinned on correctly because y'all know Monique will drag you by the hair, by the wig, by the weave, whatever you got going on with your hair that day, make sure you got it glued and pinned on right. Because Monique Samuels, she can get a little violent. We know that. So very much looking forward to next week of Potomac. Now, before we get out of here, y'all know I always have to give my Tooks takeaway. And I alluded to my Tooks takeaway earlier, but I do want to just briefly talk about this imposter syndrome thing because I feel like I definitely deal with it. Throughout my career, it's been a trend where I've been in rooms where I definitely belong there, but I'm also definitely the least famous or least known person in the room. Not the least qualified, not the, like I'm there, I belong there, but I'm in a room with people that I know, people that I'm a fan of, and they don't know me. And that is intimidating. That is scary. Even to be at an event with Housewives, when I'm in this space now where I've got my podcast, we're coming up on our 1 year anniversary, we're growing, but there is this part of me that's like, should I go and say hi? Do people know who I am? Do people care? And I definitely get in my head about that. And it's something I'm working on, and I want you to be working on it too, y'all. We're in this together. Wherever you are, know that you're qualified to be there. Know that, yeah, you are the most important person in the room. And I'm telling that to you. I'm also telling that to myself. No matter where we are, no matter where we go, we are the most important person in the room. And I want you to walk in with your head held high. I want you to walk in and say hey to everybody as if they should know who you are. And if they don't know who you are, they gon' know by the end of the evening. So that's my Tooks takeaway today. There is no imposter syndrome. You're not impostoring. Sometimes you do have to fake it till you make it. Even that confidence. And I'm only giving you guys something that I'm working on for myself. Just working on that confidence, working on the confidence to just go up to people and say, hi, I'm LaKendra. You don't know. Oh, you don't know me? You should know me. Oh, you don't know me? You need to know me. You need to make sure you're following me on Instagram. You need to come be a guest on Tooks Takes. Like I'm working on that. That's a challenge. We're in Q4. It's the end of the year. We're going to end this year so mother effing strong. So that's something I'm working on for myself. And I want you to be working on that too, y'all. Let's walk into every room. Wait a minute. I got to snap right. We got to walk into every room and own it. No more impostoring. We're not impostoring. We're going to fake it till we make it. We're going to walk in the room and say, baby, I got this. I am confident. Now, make sure you are following us on social media at LaKendra Tooks, at Tooks Takes. Make sure you are subscribed on YouTube, watching us on Spotify, Apple, Amazon. Leave reviews. I think we're like 4.9 stars. Okay. Couple haters tried to get up in there, but it's all good because you cannot. We're at 4.9. Okay. That's pretty close to 5. This is a 5-star podcast. And honestly, it's because of all of you, the Kins Day crew. I love y'all so much. Thank you for all the love you give to me. I give it right back to you. And as always, I hope and pray that my light helps you find your light. And you shine so bright. Oh! And I will see y'all next time. Bye. Mwah. You can't imposter that shine, baby. That shine is unimposterable.